Okay, so this is my Swift 2. I've had a few questions recently on the setup for my Swift 2 using what type of battery, motor, prop, and just the basic build. So I will run through my Swift 2 and how I like it. It's set up that I'm using, we'll start with the battery first. The battery is a Rhino that I got from HK, Hobby King, Rhino 610. This is 11.1. Put a little Velcro on the back, put Velcro in the battery compartment, and it just sticks right in there like that. Easy removal and change outs in the middle of flight. For the center of gravity, I have added some weight. I just put 4 nickels together, taped them up, and then put a little Velcro on one end, and I slide it in there right at the nose, and boom, I have some extra weight. Flies good without the weight as well, especially if I'm using the 800 milliamp. Although when I'm using the 800 milliamp, I usually take out the nickel weights. In wind, it's always better to have a little more nose weight on this wing. For the receiver, I'm using Hobby King Spectrum clone, and it works really good. A little park flyer, just added it there. The ESC is a Turnigy Plush 12 amp that I have here. The sticker came off a while ago, but that is a Plush 12 amp is what I have written on there. The motor is a 1700 2730. So it's a 2730 is the number, Turnigy, or Turnigy, I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's a 2730 with a 1700 kV, 1700 kV, swinging an 8x4 direct drive prop on a prop saver. So that's nice when it hits. I found adding a little tape on the edges here like this, so when the prop swings and does come out, it won't tear up my foam here. But the prop's really nice. The 8x4 works. There are some other options. I've heard of people doing the 7x6 or 7 by something. I have quite a few of those too. I have used them. Haven't really noticed the difference. I think it's just preference or what you have on hand. Okay, the mounting system for this motor was slightly off. I used everything that was included with the motor mount that came with the motor and the plane. I did have to do some drilling, and as you can see, this top hole here is actually not attached. So it's attached at 3 points, side and bottom here, as you can see, just attached. I think I had to do a little bit of drilling and a slight offset to get it to fit correctly, but it's not much modification necessary. Right now this motor is actually a 1500 because I finally did, after about a year and a half of flying this, go burn through the 1700, and currently I don't have any 1700s available. I need to order some. So I put on a 1500 that I had laying around. It does fly on the 1500, it just has lost some vertical and speed performance. Although it flies well and is still capable of doing what it needs to do, I prefer the 1700. As for the servo and wing setup, I just wanted to point out I'm using the cheapest Hobby King servos I could get, 9 grams, not a problem. But I put extensions on the servo arms, so they're actually long, the Dubros. I don't know the actual number, but they are longer servo arms than what came with the servos themselves. And as you can see, I took servo wheels then that I got from my hobby parts shop. A local hobby shop guy just gave me these. He had some spares laying around, and I've super glued them in to protect the servo. As you can see, if it were to land, it still is able to protect the servo arm on either side. Works great. They have ripped out a few times, but it saves these servos. I have run through a few of the servos, so I always recommend getting extra servos to replace. As you can see, I just tucked my wires in, cut very little lines with a razor blade, and just kind of tucked everything in to where it needed to be. So this is the setup, and you might be curious about some of the videos you've seen where you get point of view flying from this. As you can see, there's a little piece of Velcro here, and what I did was order from Hobby Parts this little keychain camera. It's decent, and it does its job. So I put a little Velcro on the bottom, put a little Velcro here, and it just attaches like that and flies around, showing the world from a bird's eye view. So there you go. This is my Swift 2. Run some tape along the leading edges. I do recommend running tape across it and reinforcing it. I've had some massive wrecks at times when I'm not paying attention or just coming in really hot, and I've bumped it into things, and it just is amazing the abuse this little wing can take. And when it does finally crack or break, just a little bit of glue, any type of super glue or epoxy, works wonders. Puts it back together, and she's back up and flying in no time. So there you go. This is coinworker Swift. I hope you find this video useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me.